A term that's come through the lab here in the last week or so. I met with a fellow named John Graham Harper. He takes his dose of vitamin G every day. He takes his vitamin C, his vitamin D, and he always ensures he takes his vitamin G. And I share that with you because you strike me somebody who's full of gratitude and full of just being fortunate to do what you've done and fortunate to do what you get to do every single day. Am I right?
Could have been better. It should have been better career-wise, but obviously winning is
Hold
huge.
on, hold on. I'm going to interrupt you. Should have. That's a difficult word that sometimes I think we all hang on to too much because should is in the psychology word, it's a bad word. So unpack should for me. It says who should you have done what?
It should have been, could have been. But I mean, live your life like that. I don't.
That's right.
Went through that phase where now it's like whatever. I was lucky to play. I was lucky to win. But if the GM and the head scout that drafted me in Calgary, they don't get fired. I don't get traded to Colorado. I don't win a cup. But
Right.
maybe I play there and I'm like Jerome Ginla and maybe I'm in the Hall. I wouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame, but I had 2 goals in 6 games. I was like, I think I'm going to score 40. And then I got punched into the fourth line because guys were bitching about ice time. We were 2-10. I didn't score for 3 months. But my next goal was Madison Square Gardens against Wayne Gretzky and Mike Richter. And that was pretty awesome. I was celebrating. I was like, I tried to wrap around, got the rebound, went bar down. And all the boys are like, fuck it, right, stay. I was like, whatever. I get to the bench and Brian Sutter goes.
You've talked about family many times during our conversation so far. You've talked about relationships as well. What advice are you giving athletes, retiring athletes, guys that are just starting out or even on the way to ending their career? What are you giving them to maintain that strong family relationship and just the relationships around them?
I say find what you do or what you really like and be good at it or be great at it. And like it's hard to. Some people work jobs where you don't really like it, but the money's
Mm-hmm.
good, and especially in Alberta, like I go pipeline and they get a shit ton of money. And I've actually thought about it a couple different times. I'm like, well, maybe I'll go do it for the summer and just to make some extra money and stuff. And then, but I'd say like make sure you're passionate about because if you're really passionate and you like something like this job, like we're going to feed 360, like I like it. So when I have an opportunity to make money and money's not the be all end all, but it's important because life's expensive and telling your kids you can't afford stuff or there's been a couple times where it's like, hey, because my kids both play, my 2 boys play hockey. They're 17 and 15. It's expensive. And
Mm-hmm.
God forbid those one piece sticks can last like 2 months. And then I have a 4-year-old daughter. I always say same wife because everyone's like, it's a big spread. And it was like, hey, do you want another kid? Can we have another kid? And she's awesome. So
Yeah.
like she was a COVID baby. So it was actually the good and the bad of COVID and all that shit. I'm not going to
Well,
get into the whole conspiracy theory behind it, but the good and the bad was some bad shit because like hockey got shut down and people in their own agendas is like, you don't understand, like kids are getting sports taken away from them and going to school, which is huge, and mental health I'm a big proponent of, and the ability to socialize. So that part of it. And the flip side is that if that doesn't happen, we're never in the same house as a family on the weekend because like 2 kids are on the same team now, but
yeah.
back then, so we all got to know each other and my daughter, and it was great. So part of the advice and the whole what I give guys is that know who your friends are, find someone you like, and you think you can do better, and maybe you can, but who really likes you for you? Who really likes you for what you do or who you are? And that's a tough thing to know. So I think you see you guys
Mm.
like the divorce rate's pretty high, and I'm lucky had our ups and downs, but I still fight. My wife tells me to shut up and I'm an idiot. And I usually am, but sometimes I'm right. Then if I am, it's like, why are you always going to be right? Why gotta be right all the time? I'm like, no, I'm not. But the odd time I am right, I just like you to acknowledge it, please, because it's not
Yeah.
very often. Well, just please. So, anyways, yeah, that would be my thing. Is it don't because I remember I went and saw this psychologist a few times. And he worked with the Rays and sports psychologist guy. My wife and I went because we were just arguing or whatever. It was miserable.
Yeah.
I was doing the landscaping thing. Like, okay, we were talking, whatever. And he's like, what are you doing? I said, well, landscaping. He's like, why are you doing it? I said, well, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life, basically, or what I'm going to do. And he's like, okay, do you like it? And I was like, well, not really. And he's like, you need the money. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you need the money. I'm like, well, yeah, I need money or whatever. He's like, oh, but do you need the money? I was like, well, he's like, yeah, I save my money. He's like, okay, so why are you doing it? And I was like, well, because I have to. I got to do something. And he's like, why are you doing it?
Your audio is breaking up.
Oh,
Say
sorry.
it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I said, why are you doing it? And I said, well, I don't know. And it was a really simple question and a really simple answer. He's like, why are you doing it? If you don't like it, you don't really need the money. Find something else. You're just doing it and you're miserable and you hate it. Do it. Do something that makes you happy. And it was like, it's such a simple thing, but it was so complicated.
I sit here and laugh. I've never made less money in my entire life, but I've never had more fun doing this show. But I'm passionate about it. And we're having great guests and great conversations.